Emma lived in a small village, a peaceful place where the air smelled of fresh flowers and rain. Her days were simple. She spent them reading and taking care of her little garden. She loved stories of great adventures and romance, but she never imagined she'd live one herself. One afternoon, a man named Alexander arrived. He rode into the village on an old, worn-out bicycle. He looked tired, but there was something mysterious about him. The people in the village talked about him. They said he had lost everything and came here to start over. Emma watched him from a distance, curious, but unsure if she should approach. Weeks went by, and Alexander started settling into village life. He often visited the same library Emma loved, and they started noticing each other. Their first conversation happened one day when they both reached for the same book. It was a simple moment, but something inside them sparked. They began meeting regularly, talking about books, life, and their dreams. Emma learned about Alexander's past. He had lost a love and left a life behind. He was honest, vulnerable, kind. Emma felt drawn to him in ways she couldn't explain. One day, while walking by the river, Alexander confessed his feelings for Emma. He told her how she brought light into his life, when all he had known was darkness. Emma, feeling overwhelmed by emotion, realized she felt the same. Their love grew, but it wasn't without challenges. As their relationship deepened, whispers in the village grew louder. Some people didn't trust Alexander and warned Emma to stay away. But Emma believed in him and stayed by his side, despite the doubts and rumors. Then Alexander's past came back to haunt him. A letter arrived, revealing secrets he had tried to bury. Emma, though hurt, decided to help him face his past. Together, they journeyed to his old life, confronting those who had wronged him and finding closure. When they returned to the village, they weren't broken anymore. They were two people who had found healing in each other. Emma and Alexander's story became a symbol of hope and resilience. It showed the villagers that love and forgiveness could conquer even the deepest scars. As Emma and Alexander settled back into village life, they found a new rhythm. Their love had been tested, but now it was stronger than ever. The small, everyday moments meant everything. A walk in the garden, shared laughter over breakfast, and quiet evenings spent reading by the fire. But life had its own plans. Alexander began struggling with memories from his past. He grew quiet and distant. Emma noticed the way he stared off into the distance, like he was looking for something, but couldn't find it. She tried to reach him, but Alexander withdrew. He didn't want his pain to hurt her. One evening, under a sky full of stars, Emma decided it was time to talk. She took his hand and spoke, her voice trembling with both fear and courage. "We faced so much together. Alexander, you don't have to carry this alone." Finally, Alexander opened up. His words were full of regret and sorrow. He told Emma about a promise he had broken years ago and how it haunted him. Emma listened, her heart breaking, not because of what he had done, but because of the guilt he carried. She reminded him, love is about forgiveness, not just for yourself. The next day, Emma surprised Alexander. She made a plan. They would travel to the place where his broken promise began, to seek forgiveness and closure. Their journey was long and emotional, but Emma's strength gave Alexander the courage he needed. They found the man Alexander had wronged, a frail old man who had been waiting for his return. Alexander apologized, and to his surprise, the old man forgave him. "We all make mistakes," he said. "What matters is that you've come back to make it right." The weight Alexander had carried for years lifted. He felt a peace he hadn't known in a long time. On their way back to the village, everything seemed lighter. Alexander laughed more freely, and Emma felt her love for him deepen. Their story became one of redemption and hope. It inspired the villagers to face their own pasts and heal. Back in the village, Emma and Alexander began to rebuild their lives. Every step forward reflected a deeper understanding of each other. Their love had been tested, but it had been strengthened by those tests. They became an example to others, not because they were perfect, but because they had embraced their imperfections together. Alexander, once burdened by his past, started sharing his story with the villagers. At first, it was hard for him to open up, but Emma stood by his side, supporting him. His stories of redemption helped many, sparking conversations about forgiveness and second chances. The village, once quiet and reserved, transformed. It became a place where people shared their joys and sorrows freely. Emma, too, found her voice. She began hosting gatherings in their garden, inviting the villagers to share their lives. These moments of connection brought the community closer together. One day, a young boy approached them, tears in his eyes. He had made a mistake and feared it would separate him from his family. Alexander knelt down and shared his own struggles. "Mistakes aren't the end," he said. "They're just opportunities to grow." Emma hugged the boy, her kindness easing his fears.